Journal of Contemporary Urban Affairs. 2023, Volume 7, Number 1, pages 39-50. Original scientific paper. The impact of urban home gardens on the mental well-being of women in the Greater Jakarta area. Keywords: mental well-being, urban home gardens, women, urban areas, Greater Jakarta area. Abstract. Promoting positive mental health is of utmost importance, especially in today's urban context, as recognized by the World Health Organization. However, the scarcity of green spaces in urban areas presents challenges for fostering a connection with nature. To address this gap, this study investigates the distinctive contribution of urban home gardens to the mental well-being of women in the Greater Jakarta area. Through an online survey, participant backgrounds and mental well-being were assessed using the WEMUB scale. Validity and reliability were established using Pearson's product moment correlation and Cronbach's alpha, respectively. The study unravels several influential factors, including garden interaction, visit frequency and duration, and size. Crucially, it advances the literature by shedding light on the original contribution of urban home gardens to mental well-being. Notably, women who visit their urban home garden more than 7 times a week and spend over 2 hours per day in their garden report the highest levels of mental well-being. These findings highlight the unique role of urban home gardens in promoting mental well-being among urban women. Consequently, they hold implications for policymakers and practitioners aiming to enhance mental well-being and foster access to green spaces in urban areas. This study reveals the positive impact of urban home gardens on the mental well-being of women in Greater Jakarta area. Women who visited their home garden more than 7 times a week and spent more than 30 minutes per day in their garden reported the highest levels of mental well-being. Research highlights the unique role of home gardens as accessible green spaces, offering potential solutions to improve mental well-being in urban settings. This study provides valuable insights for policymakers and practitioners aiming to promote mental health and increase access to green spaces in urban areas. This study significantly contributes to the existing literature by examining the impact of urban home gardens on the mental well-being of women in the Greater Jakarta area. It sheds light on the unique role of home gardens in promoting mental well-being, particularly for urban women. The findings provide valuable insights into the positive effects of frequent garden interaction. This research expands the knowledge base and offers new insights for policymakers and practitioners aiming to enhance mental well-being and improve access to green spaces in urban areas. 1. Introduction. The field of mental health has received considerable attention in recent years, with a growing emphasis on the significance of positive mental well-being. The World Health Organization, WHO, recognizes the crucial role of positive mental health in enabling individuals to trust their abilities, effectively cope with life's challenges, perform productively, contribute meaningfully to their communities, and ultimately enhance their overall quality of life. Tenant et al., 2007. In line with this, the WHO has provided recommendations for sustaining mental health and psychosocial well-being, including engaging with nature as a healthy living practice. Notably, Krahls et al., 2022, have highlighted the numerous health benefits associated with exposure to nature, which include improved subjective well-being, enhanced quality of life, and reduced stress levels. Furthermore, Puso et al. 2020 conducted a study revealing that maintaining contact with nature during stressful life events can aid in the preservation of mental health. Notably, individuals residing in greener rural areas reported fewer symptoms of mental and physical ailments compared to their urban counterparts. However, the rapid urbanization observed in densely populated regions such as the Greater Jakarta area has led to a scarcity of available land that can be utilized as green open spaces. Goes, Budiman et al. 2014. The situation was further exacerbated by the mobility and social restrictions implemented during the COVID-19 pandemic, making it increasingly challenging for urban communities to access green open spaces. The government's implementation of large-scale social restrictions, PSBB, meant that individuals were confined to their homes, with transportation, office activities, schools, recreational areas, parks, and places of worship all closed. This quarantine policy had significant adverse effects on society, notably contributing to a decline in psychological well-being. Elvira et al. 2021 conducted a survey in the Jakarta Greater Area and discovered that 14% of the residents displayed moderate to severe anxiety, 11.82% moderate and 2.17% severe, during the pandemic. Importantly, their findings highlighted a higher prevalence of depressive symptoms among women, suggesting that they were more vulnerable to psychological distress. Various factors, such as experiencing domestic violence, longer working hours compared to men, and the responsibility for household chores, contributed to heightened psychological stress among women during the pandemic. In light of these circumstances, home gardens have emerged as a potential alternative to fulfill the need for interaction with nature, particularly for married women. Perez-Arester Rezu et al. 2021 found that homes with open areas, such as terraces or green spaces, played a supportive role during periods of isolation. Both visual and physical exposure to plants have been linked to increased positive behavior and pleasurable feelings, while also mitigating negative emotions such as anger, fear, and stress. Building upon these findings, the present study aims to further investigate the mental well-being of women in urban areas, specifically the Jakarta Greater Area, and explore their patterns of interaction with private garden houses. This exploration will include examining the frequency of visits, duration of visits, types of activities engaged in, as well as the size and positioning of the private garden houses. By delving deeper into these aspects, the study aims to contribute to the existing body of knowledge and provide valuable insights for promoting mental well-being among urban women. 2. Methods. 2.1. Research location and time. This study was conducted from July 2021 to May 2022 in the Greater Jakarta area, located at 6.2175 degrees S, 106.8178 degrees east. The Greater Jakarta area, or commonly known as Jabodetabek, is an urban area in Indonesia that is integrated with Jakarta, consisting of the city of Jakarta and its surrounding areas, especially Bogor, Depok, Tangerang, and Bekasi. The Greater Jakarta area is one of the largest greater cities in the world and also the largest urban area in Southeast Asia, with a population exceeding 31.24 million people, and the number of married respondents was 9,308,269 people, BPS 2021, BPS 2022. making the Greater Jakarta area one of the most densely populated areas in Indonesia. The Greater Jakarta area has an area of 6,437.89 square kilometers, accounting for 0.34% of Indonesia's total area of 1,916,906.77 kilometers. 2. Kementerian Pekerjaan Umum dan Perumahan Rakyat, 2008. Journal of Contemporary Urban Affairs, 7, 1, 39-50/2023. Anantama Benanda Yasminingrat, Bambang Sulistyantara, Nizar Nasrullah. 41. Figure 1. Map of Greater Jakarta Area, Google Earth, 2022. 2.2. Data collection and respondents. In this study, data were collected through an online questionnaire and respondents were determined using the snowball sampling method. The sample population was obtained as many as possible. According to the results of the questionnaire distribution, over 100 respondents from all over the Greater Jakarta area. Questionnaires were distributed through social media such as WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn to married women, married, divorced, and widowed, aged 19 to 60 years in the Greater Jakarta area randomly. The research subjects who filled out the questionnaire were reviewed to comply with the described criteria. The present study began with a survey to find out the demographic background of the respondents, including age, marital status, educational background, occupation, age of the children they had, and subsequently measured the participants' mental well-being conditions, by asking respondents to answer a 5-point Likert scale, such as very good, good, fair, bad, and very bad. This mental well-being condition was assessed using the Indonesian language version of the Warwick-Edinburgh Mental Well-being, WEMUBS, scale, Wikaksano etal, 2021. The condition of mental well-being of the respondents in the study was measured using the Warwick-Edinburgh Mental Well-being Scale, WEMUBS, which is a scale developed and used to measure a person's level of mental well-being. The English version of the WEMUBS has good validity and internal consistency with Cronbach's alpha 0.89/0.91 and reliability, retest reliability of 0.83, Tamanan etal, 2020, whereas in this study, the WEMUBS had good validity and a good level of consistency with Cronbach's alpha coefficient of 0.94. This scale is suitable for measuring mental well-being on a population scale, large and broad, because of its strong psychological measurement/assessment. This scale consists of 14 question items, and each item used a 5-point Likert response format, and the cumulative score of the items ranges from 14 to 70. A higher score represents a high level of mental well-being. 3 categories of mental well-being were created based on the results of the WEMUBS score, namely a low level of mental. Journal of Contemporary Urban Affairs, 7, 1, 39-50/2023. Anantama Benanda Yasminingrat, Bambang Sulistyantara, Nizar Nasrullah. 42. Well-being if the score was less than 44, a high level of mental well-being if the score was more than 61, and a moderate level of mental well-being for the rest. Furthermore, the condition of the home garden and participants' interactions with the home garden, including the area of the garden and patterns of interaction, including the frequency and duration spent in the home garden, were also investigated. All of these surveys were conducted online. Before filling out the questionnaire, participants were presented with the procedure for filling out the survey and debriefed about the study objectives to prevent confusion among the participants. 2.2. Data analysis. The results of the questionnaire were analyzed to determine validity and reliability using the Pearson product moment correlation, validity, and Cronbach's alpha, reliability. Data from the sample were analyzed using descriptive analysis, while also using correlation. The data processing application that was used is IBM SPSS version 26. 3. Results and discussion. 3.1 Demographic characteristics. The total number of subjects involved in this study was 160 people, and for the final sample, there were 109 people who met the criteria in this study, namely aged 19 to 60 years, married women, married, divorced and widowed, and living in the area Greater Jakarta area. Table 1. Socio-demographic data by level of mental well-being, and mean and standard deviation. Category sample. N equals 109. WEMUBS. Mean plus or minus SD category p-value. Age. Early adult. 19 to 40 years old. N equals 51, 46.8%. 55.9 plus or minus 11.38 moderate. 0.267. Middle adult, 41 to 60 years old, N equals 58, 53.2%. 56.3 plus or minus 8.3 moderate. Occupation. Housewife, N equals 50, 45.9%. 55.66 plus or minus 8.297 moderate. 0.317. Employee, N equals 59, 54.1%. 56.56 plus or minus 9.663 moderate. Income. Not earning, N equals 3, 2.8%. 62.67 plus or minus 2.082 high. 0.059. IDR 6,000,000/month, N equals 58, 53.2%. 57.67 plus or minus 8.771 moderate. Education. Junior high school, N equals 1, 0.9%. 64 high. 0.619. Senior high school, N equals 13, 11.9%. 52.46 plus or minus 13.329 moderate. Diploma 1/2, N equals 6, 5.5%. 54.0 plus or minus 13.008 moderate. Diploma 3/Academy, N equals 24, 22%. 56.83 plus or minus 6.703 moderate. Bachelor, N equals 55, 50.2%. 56.2 plus or minus 9.73 moderate. Master, N equals 10, 9.2%. 58.9 plus or minus 10.115 moderate. Number of children. No children, N equals 30, 27.5%. 55.43 plus or minus 12.414 moderate. 0.458. 1, N equals 13, 11.9%. 54.54 plus or minus 8.222 moderate. 2, N equals 37, 33.9%. 56.59 plus or minus 9.593 moderate. 3, N equals 25, 22.9%. 56.96 plus or minus 7.464 moderate. More than 3, N equals 4, 3.7%. 56.0 plus or minus 11.045 moderate. Chronic diseases. Heart failure, N equals 156 plus or minus moderate. 0.724 Hypertension N equals 246.5 plus or minus 4.95 moderate. Diabetes N equals 158 moderate. Journal of Contemporary Urban Affairs, 7, 1, 39-50/2023. Anantama Benanda Yasminingrat, Bambang Sulistyantara, Nizar Nasrullah. 43. Nun N equals 105 56.29 plus or minus 9.881 moderate. Status of residence. Own residence N equals 1151.27 plus or minus 12.939 moderate. 0.631. Living with nuclear family. Husband, wife, and child. N equals 7856.59 plus or minus 9.167 moderate. Living with extended family / relatives. N equals 2056.8 plus or minus 10.103 moderate. Number of people living with 0 N equals 455.0 plus or minus 18.493 moderate. 0.402. 1, 1, N equals 1056.8 plus or minus 7.052 moderate. 2, 2, N equals 954.56 plus or minus 11.501 moderate. 3, 3, N equals 2654.88 plus or minus 8.468 moderate. 4, 4, N equals 2156.24 plus or minus 11.541 moderate. 5, 5, N equals 2957.55 plus or minus 9.553 moderate. Greater than 5, more than 5 people, N equals 1055.8 plus or minus 8.779 moderate. Respondents' ages were grouped into two groups based on the grouping of the Central Bureau of Statistics, namely the early adult age group, 19 to 40 years old, and the middle adult age group, 41 to 60 years old. This study restricted participants' age to 60 years because the age over 60 years, or commonly called old age, becomes the closing period in a person's lifespan. At this age, physical and psychological changes begin to decline so that productivity decreases and is limited compared to a younger age. Thus, activities that can be done in the home garden becomes also more limited. The early adult age group in this study made up 46.8% of the total respondents, and the middle age group was 53.2%. Most of the respondents had higher education, where as many as 50.5% of respondents had a university degree, namely a bachelor's degree, while the lowest education was junior high school, as many as 0.9%. In terms of occupation, the majority of respondents were housewives / not working, as many as 45.9%, followed by employees as many as 54.1%. With the highest income of more than IDR 6,000,000 month, 53.2%, and the lowest is below 2,000,000 month. 27.5% of respondents did not have children, while 11.9% had one, 33.9% had two, 22.9% had three, 3.7% had more than 3 children under 5 years, and 13.8% of respondents had children with special needs. Table 1. 3.2 Well-being condition. The results of this study indicate that within the Greater Jakarta area, a significant proportion of women exhibited varying levels of mental well-being. Specifically, 39 individuals, 35.8%, displayed a high level of mental well-being, while 58 respondents, 53.2%, demonstrated a moderate level and followed by 12 respondents, 11%, in the Greater Jakarta area reported a low level of mental well-being. The average score on the Warwick-Edinburgh Mental Well-Being Scale, WEMUBS, in this study was 56.09, as shown in Table 2. These results provide evidence that women in the Greater Jakarta area have attained sustainable mental well-being, characterized by a healthy and prosperous mental state. This state is characterized by reduced levels of stress, guilt, depression, and other negative emotions. In the contemporary psychological context, the definition of well-being has evolved to encompass various dimensions, including physical, socio-emotional, spiritual, cognitive, and behavioral aspects. Manita et al., 2019. The Oxford Dictionary defines wellness as a state of good health, while well-being refers to a positive condition in an individual's life, such as happiness, health, or prosperity. McMahon et al., 2010. When viewed in a broader sense, well-being is a comprehensive construct that can be approached from two perspectives: the hedonic perspective, which focuses on subjective well-being and life satisfaction, and the eudaimonic perspective, which centers on psychological well-being and self-realization. Positive mental health encompasses factors such as self-esteem, optimism, a sense of mastery and coherence, fulfilling personal relationships, and resilience, the ability to navigate challenges and cope with stressors. Ryan and Deci, 2001. Journal of Contemporary Urban Affairs, 7, 1, 39-50/2023. Anantama Benanda Yasminingrat, Bambang Sulistyantara, Nizar Nasrullah. 44. Table 2. Data based on WEMUBS score. WEMUBS N%. Low 12-11. Moderate 58-53.2. High 39-35.8. Mean plus or minus def 56.09 plus or minus 9.798. 3.2.1 Mental well-being from socio-demographic status. The results of the correlation analysis that has been conducted based on the data of this study indicated that there was no strong and significant relationship. Table 3. Thus, it can be concluded that socio-demographic factors are not associated with the mental well-being of the respondents living in the Jakarta Greater Area. This can happen because individuals' well-being can be influenced by many factors aside from socio-demographic factors, namely demographic factors. Rif. 1989, Personality. Ryan and Deci, 2001, Social Support, Shujait, 2018, as well as Contextual and Situational Factors, Van Hoorn, 2008. Table 3. Correlation between socio-demographic status and level of mental well-being. Variable/factor. Age, occupation. WEMUBS .750. 674. Income, education. WEMUBS .541.422. Number of children, chronic disease. WEMUBS .959.331. Status of residence, number of people living with. WEMUBS .200.967. Note: p-value less than or equal to 0.05, p-value less than or equal to 0.01, p-value correlation between mental well-being and socio-demographic characteristics. 3.2.2 Level of mental well-being by interaction patterns. 3.2.2.1 Interaction with outdoors. Figure 2. Outdoor activities performed by respondents living in Greater Jakarta, respondents can choose more than one activity. The results show that almost half of the respondents who filled out the questionnaire admitted that they only left their homes 1 to 2 times a week, 45.9%. Table 4. In terms of activities carried out by the respondents in the Greater Jakarta area beside routine activities such as work or school, 60. Respondents in the Greater Jakarta area visited markets/shopping centers, 55%, to meet their needs. 16 respondents did sports, 14.7%, 6 respondents visited recreational areas, 5.5%, and 27. Journal of Contemporary Urban Affairs, 7, 1, 39-50/2023. Anantama Benanda Yasminingrat, Bambang Sulistyantara, Nizar Nasrullah. 45. Respondents attended social and religious events, e.g., Muslim Forum, rotating savings, prayer, social services, and so on. Figure 2. Table 4. Data based on outdoor interaction with level of mental well-being as well as mean and standard deviation. Category sample, n equals 109. Level of mental well-being, WMUBs. Mean plus or minus SD category p-value. Frequency of weekly outdoor activity. Never n equals 4, 3.7%. 49.5 plus or minus 10.97 moderate. 0.269. 1 to 2 times a week n equals 50, 45.9%. 55.84 plus or minus 9.43 moderate. 3 to 4 times a week n equals 24, 22.0%. 57.46 plus or minus 8.11 moderate. 5 to 6 times a week n equals 15, 13.8%. 55.67 plus or minus 10.06 moderate. 6 to 7 times a week n equals 16, 14.7%. 56.87 plus or minus 12.89 moderate. The results of the study from the correlation analysis as presented in Table 5 indicate that there was no significant correlation between the frequency of weekly leaving the house and the level of mental well-being among respondents living in the Greater Jakarta area. This finding may be attributed to the fear of contracting COVID-19, which is still prevalent among respondents. Fear of transmission is likely to undermine the mental health benefits of outdoor activities and may help explain why in some areas the number of visitors to green spaces during the pandemic declined. Mark et al., 2021. Table 5. Correlation between outdoor interaction pattern and level of mental well-being. WMUBs. Frequency of weekly outdoor 0.477. Note, p-value less than or equal to 0.05, p-value less than or equal to 0.01, p-value of correlation between mental well-being and frequency of weekly outdoor activities. 3.2.2.2 Interaction with public green space. Table 6. Data based on public green interaction patterns and level of mental well-being as well as mean and standard deviation. Category sample, n equals 109. Level of mental well-being, WMUBs. Mean plus or minus SD category p-value. Frequency of public green visits. Never n equals 36, 33%. 53.83 plus or minus 11.08 moderate. 0.212. 1 to 2 times a week n equals 59, 54.1%. 56.86 plus or minus 8.53 moderate. 3 to 4 times a week n equals 9, 8.3%. 61.78 plus or minus 6.32 moderate. 5 to 6 times a week N equals 2, 1.8%. 48.5 plus or minus 14.85 moderate. 6 to 7 times a week N equals 3, 2.8%. 56 plus or minus 18.52 moderate. Travel duration. 5 minutes N equals 22, 20.2%. 60.5 plus or minus 7.61 moderate. 0.093. 5 to 10 minutes N equals 27, 24.8%. 55.48 plus or minus 10.39 moderate. 11 to 30 minutes N equals 34, 31.2%. 53.29 plus or minus 9.80 moderate. 31 to 60 minutes N equals 14, 12.8%. 59.29 plus or minus 7.19 moderate. 60 minutes N equals 12, 11%. 53.58 plus or minus 11.98 moderate. In addition, during the past month respondents visited public green areas at least 1 to 2 times a week. 54.1%, with travel time to reach the nearest green area varying from greater than 5 minutes, 20.2%, 5 to 10 minutes, 24%, 11 to 30 minutes, 31.2%, 31 to 60 minutes, 12.8%, and greater than 60 minutes, 11%. Table 6. Based on the available data, it is evident that the frequency of visits to public green spaces by the respondents remains extremely low. This lack of visits can likely be attributed to concerns about contracting COVID-19, Mark et.al., 2021. Despite the relaxation of community activity restrictions, the number of respondents visiting public green spaces remains consistently low. This apprehension not only diminishes the mental health benefits derived from outdoor activities but also leads to the absence of a correlation between the level of mental well-being and general interactions with green. Journal of Contemporary Urban Affairs, 7, 1, 39-50/2023. Anantama Benanda Yasminingrat, Bambang Sulistyantara, Nizar Nasrullah. 46. Spaces, as indicated in Table 7. Additionally, it was observed that respondents exhibited a preference for visiting nearby parks, which aligns with previous research, SIA et.al., 2020, highlighting that people tend to opt for parks in their immediate vicinity that can be reached within 10 minutes. This preference further emphasizes the significance of having a private home garden, which serves as a convenient alternative for enhancing an individual's well-being. Notably, even in this study, respondents required 11 to 30 minutes to reach public green open spaces, reinforcing their inclination to interact with their private gardens. The ease of access afforded by home gardens enables individuals to visit and engage with green spaces more frequently, eliminating the need for long-distance travel or significant expenses to connect with nature. Table 7. Correlation between public green space interaction pattern and level of mental well-being. WEMUBS. Frequency of public green space visit 0.244. Travel duration 0.093. Note, p-value less than or equal to 0.05, p-value less than or equal to 0.01, p-value of correlation between the level of mental well-being and public green space interaction pattern. 3.2.2.3 Interaction with home garden. Table 8. Data based on home garden interaction pattern and level of mental well-being as well as mean and standard deviation. Category sample, N equals 109, WEMUBS. Mean plus or minus SD category p-value. Frequency of home garden visit. Never n equals 26, 23.9%. 49.65 plus or minus 10.68 moderate. 0.000. 1 to 2 times a week n equals 4, 3.7%. 42.5 plus or minus 7.37 low. 3 to 4 times a week n equals 12, 11%. 56.75 plus or minus 6.94 moderate. 5 to 6 times a week n equals 10, 9.2%. 58.50 plus or minus 5.99 moderate. 6 to 7 times a week n equals 57, 52.3%. 59.42 plus or minus 8.26 moderate. Duration of home garden activities. Never n equals 26, 23.9%. 49.65 plus or minus 10.68 moderate. 0.193. 3 hours a day n equals 9, 8.3%. 57.67 plus or minus 11.53 moderate. Figure 3. Home garden activities performed by the respondents living in Greater Jakarta. Respondents can select more than one activity. Journal of Contemporary Urban Affairs, 7, 1, 39-50/2023. Anantama Benanda Yasminingrat, Bambang Sulistyantara, Nizar Nasrullah. 47. The results of this study indicate that as many as 57 respondents, 52.3%, in the Greater Jakarta area, over the past month have visited the home garden more often, at least 6 to 7 times a week, and spent less than 30 minutes a day, 42.2%. Table 8. They performed various activities including gardening, sunbathing, relaxing, exercising, eating/drinking, and playing with children/pets. The most frequent activity in their home garden was gardening, picture 3. On average, the findings of this study indicate that respondents in the Greater Jakarta area had a moderate level of well-being, which improved as their interactions with their home gardens became more frequent. These results align with the outcomes of the correlation analysis conducted between the frequency of visits, duration of time spent in the home garden, and the respondents' mental well-being. The analysis revealed a positive relationship between these interactions and the level of well-being, see Table 9. Consequently, it can be inferred that more frequent interactions with the home garden correspond to higher levels of well-being. This reaffirms the significant role of visiting a home garden in enhancing mental well-being. Furthermore, longer durations spent in the home garden provide individuals with greater benefits, and consistent weekly visits have shown a noteworthy increase in the level of mental well-being. Supporting these findings, El Sadek et al., 2019, conducted a study comparing buildings with green facades to those without. The results revealed distinct differences that influenced the relative strength of alpha brain waves. Notably, participants exhibited consistently higher alpha wave amplitudes when observing green facades compared to regular building walls. Increased alpha wave activity has been associated with reduced stress levels and is commonly observed during states of rest, concentrated meditation, and relaxation. Alpha wave activity also plays a vital role in neuronal networks and has been linked to cognitive performance, mental coordination, calmness, attention, and overall awareness. Moreover, a study conducted in the UK by Puso et al., 2020, demonstrated that spending a minimum of 2 hours per week in a blue-green environment outdoors could yield significant well-being benefits for more than 20,000 individuals. The study also highlighted that daily durations of 30 minutes to 1 hour spent in these environments could contribute to improved well-being. Furthermore, research by Sulistyantara et al. 2020 indicated that 3 hours of daily interaction with nature represented the upper threshold for individuals, suggesting that 30 minutes to 1 hour per day is sufficient to derive benefits. In summary, the findings of this study underscore the positive association between interactions with home gardens and the well-being of respondents in the Greater Jakarta area. Increasing the frequency of visits, extending the duration spent in the home garden, and adhering to consistent weekly visits contribute to enhanced well-being. These outcomes align with previous research that demonstrates the positive effects of nature interactions on mental well-being, including reduced stress levels, increased alpha wave activity, and cognitive benefits. Table 9. Result of correlation analysis between the level of mental well-being and frequency of home garden visit and duration of activities in home garden. WEMUBS. Frequency 0.000. Duration 0.001. Note, p-value less than or equal to 0.05, p-value less than or equal to 0.01, p-value of correlation between level of mental well-being and frequency of home garden visit and duration of activities in the home garden. 3.2.3 Level of mental well-being by home garden conditions. Based on the results of this study, Table 10, 83 respondents, 76.1%, had a home garden, while 26 respondents, 23.9%, did not have a home garden. As many as 27 respondents, 24.8%, living in the Jakarta Greater Area in this study had a garden area of less than 5 m², while 25 respondents, 22.9%, had a home garden of 6 to 10 m². From the results, the average level of mental well-being of the respondents living in the Jakarta Greater Area was at a moderate level. Journal of Contemporary Urban Affairs, 7, 1, 39-50/2023. Anantama Benanda Yasminingrat, Bambang Sulistyantara, Nizar Nasrullah. 48. Table 10. Data based on the condition of the home garden by the level of mental well-being as well as the mean and standard deviation. Category sample, n equals 109, WEMUBS. Mean plus or minus SD category p-value. Size of the garden. No garden n equals 26, 23.9%. 49.65 plus or minus 10.68 moderate. 0.048. Less than 5 to n equals 27, 24.8%. 56.19 plus or minus 8.85 moderate. 6 to 10 to n equals 25, 22.9%. 57.44 plus or minus 9.05 moderate. 11 to 15 to n equals 8, 7.3%. 56.88 plus or minus 3.18 moderate. 16 to 22 n equals 4, 3.7%. 60.25 plus or minus 14.85 moderate. 22 n equals 19, 17.4%. 61.79 plus or minus 8.66 high. The findings of the correlation analysis indicate a significant positive relationship between the size of home gardens and the level of mental well-being among respondents residing in the Jakarta Greater Area, Table 11. This implies that larger home gardens are associated with higher levels of mental Well-being for individuals in urban settings. Despite the constraints by limited land availability in urban areas, this study emphasizes the significant positive influence that small home gardens can have on an individual's mental well-being. It is crucial to recognize and consider the size of a private home garden, ensuring that it aligns with a person's specific requirement for green space while also taking into account the overall area of the house. By carefully assessing these factors, individuals can optimize the benefits of their home gardens on their mental well-being, even within the limitations of urban living. This consideration aligns with the guidelines provided by Public Works Regulations No. 05/PRT/M/2008, which outline the provision and utilization of green open spaces in urban areas. These regulations ensure that the area of the garden corresponds appropriately to the individual's requirements for green space. Table 11. Result of correlation analysis between mental well-being and position and size of home garden. WEMUBS. Size 0.000. Note, p-value less than or equal to 0.05, p-value less than or equal to 0.01, p-value of correlation between the level of mental well-being and position and size of home garden. 4. Conclusions. In summary, the study focused on women in the Greater Jakarta area and their interaction patterns with home gardens. It found that the women generally had a moderate level of mental well-being, 53.3%, with a high level observed in 35.8% of participants and a low level in 11% of participants. The women spent more time in their home gardens, typically 6 to 7 times a week for less than 30 minutes each day, compared to outdoors or public green areas. The study revealed a positive relationship between interaction patterns and mental well-being, indicating that those with more frequent interaction with their home gardens had higher levels of well-being. The majority of home gardens in the study were small, with areas less than 5 square meters and 6 to 10 square meters. The condition of the home garden was found to be positively associated with mental well-being. These findings support the hypothesis that even small home gardens can positively impact an individual's mental well-being, despite the limited land availability in urban areas. Furthermore, the study contributes valuable insights into the role of urban home gardens in enhancing the mental well-being of women in the Greater Jakarta area, specifically considering interaction patterns and the characteristics of private garden houses. By highlighting the positive impact of urban home gardens on mental well-being, even in limited spaces, this study underscores the importance of promoting positive mental health in urban contexts. The findings offer valuable information for policymakers and practitioners seeking to enhance mental well-being and improve access to green spaces in urban areas. Given the constraints imposed by the Journal of Contemporary Urban Affairs, 7, 1, 39-50/2023. Anantama Benanda Yasminingrat, Bambang Sulistyantara, Nizar Nasrullah. 49. COVID-19 pandemic, which hindered the collection of in-person data for this study. Future research could benefit from incorporating in-person data collection methods. This would allow for a more diverse and representative sample, reducing potential biases and enhancing the generalizability of the findings. Acknowledgements. This research did not receive any specific grant from funding agencies in the public, commercial, or not-for-profit sectors. Funding. The research was funded by the first author. Conflicts of interest. The authors declare no conflict of interest. Data availability statement. The original contributions presented in the study are included in the article. Further inquiries can be directed to the corresponding author/s. Credit author statement. Conceptualization, RABY, BS, NN. Data curation, RABY. Formal analysis, RABY, BS, NN. Fundung acquisition, RABY. Investigation, RABY. Methodology, RABY. Writing. Original draft, RABY. Writing review and editing, RABY, BS, NN. All authors have read and agreed to the published version of the manuscript. References. Buddiman, A. Sulistyantara, B. and Zion, AFM. 2014. Deteksi Perubahan Ruan. Terbuka Hijau Pada 5 Kota Besar di Pulau Jawa, Studi Kajian, DKI Jakarta. Kota Bandung, Kota Semarang, Kota Yogyakarta, dan Kota Surabaya. Journal Landscape Indonesia, 6, 1 SE articles, 715. https://doi.org/10.29444/jli.2014.6.1.7-15. El Sadek, M., Lu, B., and Lien, Z. 2019. Green Facades, Their Contribution to Stress Recovery and Well-Being in High-Density Cities. Urban Forestry and Urban Greening, 46, April, 126,446. https://doi.org/10.1016/j.ufug.2019.126446. Elvira, S.D., Lamuri, A., Luckman, P.R., Malik, K., Shatrai, H., and Abdullah, M. 2021. Psychological distress among Greater Jakarta area residents during the COVID-19 pandemic and community containment. Helion, 7, 2, E06289. https://doi.org/10.1016/j.helion.2021.e06289. Google Earth Pro version 7.3.3. December 31, 2020. Jakarta Metropolitan Area, Indonesia. I-Alt. 73.14 miles. Borders and labels, places layers. SIO, NOAA, U.S. Navy, NA, Gebco. Accessed. September 25, 2022. https://www.google.com/earth/index.html. Kementerian Pekerjaan Umum dan Perumahan Rakyat. 2008. Peraturan Menteri Pekerjaan Umum dan Perumahan Rakyat Nomor 05/PRT/M/2008 Tahun 2008 tentang Pedoman Penelitian dan Pemanfaatan Ruang Terbuka Hijau di Kawasan Perkotaan. https://jd.pu.go.id/detail. Document/1236/1 number div_carry_detail. Krals, J., Ertz, R., Van Lissen, N., De Waleheens, V., Dujarda, S., and Summers, B. 2022. Residential. Green space, gardening, and subjective well-being, a cross-sectional study of garden owners in Northern Belgium. Landscape and Urban Planning, 223, 104,414. https://doi.org/10.1016/j.landerbplan.2022.104414. Manita, E., Mawarpuri, M. Kairani, M. Ansari, K. 2019. Hubungan Stres dan Kesejahteraan. Well-being, dengan moderasi kebersihan. Gajah Mada Journal of Psychology. Gamajop, 5. 2, 178. https://doi.org/10.22146/gamajop.50121. Mark, P. Silva, A.S., Quaresma, Y. Mana, L.R., Damagalhes Nito, N., and Matsoni, R. 2021. Journal of Contemporary Urban Affairs, 7, 1, 39-50/2023. R. Anantama Benanda Yasminingrat, Bambang Sulistyantara, Nizar Nasrullah. 50. Home gardens can be more important than other urban green infrastructure for mental well-being. During COVID-19 pandemics. Urban forestry and urban greening, 64, 127,268. https://doi.org/10.1016/j.ufug.2021.127268. McMahon, A.T., Williams, P., and Tapsell, L. 2010. Reviewing the meanings of wellness and well-being and their implications for food choice. Perspectives in Public Health, 130, 6, 282-286. https://doi.org/10.1177/17579139103844046. Perezarester Rezu, L., Kaltsidi, MP, Nectarios, P.A., Markakis, G., Loges, V., Perini, K., and Fernandez Canero, R. 2021. Particularities of having plants at home during the confinement due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Urban forestry and urban greening, 59, 126,919. https://doi.org/10.1016/j.ufug.2020.126919. Puso, S., Borja, A. Fleming, L. E., Gomez-Bagathan, E., White, M.P., and Uyera, M.C. 2020. Contact with blue-green spaces during the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown beneficial for mental health. Science of the Total Environment, 756, 143,984. https://doi.org/10.1016/j.cited.2020.143984. Ryan, R.M., and Desi, E.L. 2001. On Happiness and Human Potentials, a review of research on hedonic and eudaimonic well-being. Annual Review of Psychology, 52, 1, 141-166. https://doi.org/10.1146/annurev.psych.52.1.141. Riff, C.D. 1989. Happiness is Everything, or Is It? Explorations on the Meaning of Psychological Well-Being. Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, 57, 6, 1069-1081. https://doi.org/10.1037/002-23514.57.6.1069. Shujait, N. 2018. Factors Affecting the Mental Well-Being of Undergraduate Students in Karachi. Advances in Social Sciences Research Journal, 5, 3. https://doi.org/10.14738/asrj.53.3704 Tammanen, N, Rianikainen, J, Apelqvist-Schmidlechner, K, Burodulan, K, Machiopus, T, N. Solin. p. 2020. Associations of Physical Activity with Positive Mental Health, a population-based study. Mental Health and Physical Activity, 18, September 2019, 100,319. https://doi.org/10.1016/j.mitpa.2020.100319. Tennant, R, Hiller, L, Fishwick, R, Platt, S, Joseph, S, Wake, S, Parkinson, J, Secker, J, and Stuart Brown, S. 2007. The Warwick-Dinberg Mental Well-Being Scale, WEMUBS. Development and UK Validation. Health and Quality of Life Outcomes, 5, February. https://doi.org/10.1186/1477-7525-5-63. Van Hoorn, A. 2008. A Short Introduction to Subjective Well-Being, Its Measurement, Correlates, and Policy Uses. In Statistics, Knowledge, and Policy 2007, Measuring and Fostering the Progress of Societies. https://hdl.handle.net/2066/68971. Y. Caxano, D.A., Robiantu, A., and Sumintano, B. 2021. Internal Validation of the Warwick Edinburgh Mental Wellbeing Scale, Rash Analysis in the Indonesian Context, pages 229-248. Journal of Education, Health, and Community Psychology. Syat, J., Shixian, L., Furuya, K., and Sun, D. 2020. Urban Parks as Green Buffers During the COVID-19 Pandemic. Sustainability, 12, 6751. https://doi.org/10.3390/SU1217671. How to cite this article. Yasminingrat, R.A.B., Sulistyantara, B., and Nasrullah, N. 2023. The Impact of Urban Home Gardens on the Mental Well-Being of Women in the Greater Jakarta Area. Journal of Contemporary Urban Affairs, 7, 1, 39. 50 https://doi.org/10.25034/HQ.2023.v7n1-3